Oh, hi everyone, Linda here from Just for Tummies, and today is Testimonial Tuesday. Now, as many of you know, I've been a natural health practitioner for over 32 years now. And when I first started in practice, I didn't get very many enquiries from people who suffered with acid reflux. It was mainly irritable bowel syndrome, uncomfortable bloating, painful trapped gas, constipation, diarrhea. In more recent years, diverticular disease and the unpleasant attacks, diverticulitis, urinary tract infections, inflammation of the bladder like cystitis. But again, in more recent years, we're receiving here at Just for Tummies lots more enquiries from people who are suffering with acid reflux. And I suppose it's no surprise, really, when you consider some of the causes of acid reflux, or at least persistent chronic acid reflux. We can all get acid reflux from time to time if we've eaten too much, too quickly, too late in the evening, if we've eaten a large fatty meal and we've not chewed it properly, we can get a little bit of acid reflux. But I'm talking about persistent chronic acid reflux, where many people it can it can really affect their quality of life, and they end up having to take quite strong acid suppressant medication called proton pump inhibitors, the two most common being omeprazole and lansoprazole. So some of the causes of chronic acid reflux, let's have a look. Well, um, we've got to talk about diet and lifestyle. So, if you're eating lots of acid forming foods, you're not chewing properly, you're eating when you're not in a relaxed state. You need to eat when you're relaxed and calm, not overly emotional, angry, anxious. Um, you need to be sitting down when you're eating, and you need to be eating slowly and chewing mindfully. You need to be chewing each mouthful of food at least 30 times, or at least until the food in your mouth is like paste or like a liquid before you swallow it. We also need to consider with chronic acid reflux antibiotics, because I get lots of inquiries from people who suffer with antibiotics, and I ask a few questions that give me an idea as to why they've developed acid reflux. So one of the questions I ask is their antibiotic history, and what do they think triggered their acid reflux in the first place. And very often it's after a course of antibiotics. So what else then? Menopause, of course. Again, we get lots of inquiries from women, menopausal women, either perimenopausal, menopausal, or postmenopausal, who have developed acid reflux alongside bloating and constipation. They're the three main symptoms associated with the change in hormones and going through the menopause. And aging, of course, as we age, as we get into our 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s and beyond, the production of our own stomach acid and digestive enzymes in the stomach and the pancreas can begin to slow down. And if you're eating the same amount of food that you were eating, say, 10, 20 years ago, then you could well begin to start getting attacks of acid reflux. So we had an inquiry from a lady called Victoria. This came through recently, and Victoria actually put this review on Google. So if you go to the Just for Tummies Google reviews, you'll be able to read this review from Victoria. And this is what she said. I have suffered with acid reflux for years and had it all under control with lansoprazole. That's one of the proton pump inhibitors. Until about a year ago, when I started suffering with really bad stomach cramps after eating, bloating, smelly, embarrassing wind, a feeling of fullness in my upper abdomen, and awful back pains. After an endoscopy, abdominal ultrasound, and a private CT scan to look at my pancreas, The doctors came to the conclusion that I had a hiatus hernia and basically had to just live with it unless I wanted to have surgery, which was not always successful. I was left feeling let down and feeling miserable. Constant pain every day was really dragging me down. Someone on a support group recommended Just for Tummies. I had a look and read all of the fantastic reviews, so decided to email the owner directly for advice. And yes, here at Just for Tummies, you can still email me directly, the founder of Just for Tummies. I don't know how much longer I'll be able to do that and reply personally, but yes, I'm still able to do that, and I absolutely love replying personally. So Victoria goes on to say that she, meaning me, Linda, replied to me within 24 hours with lots of questions to get a better idea of my problem. I finally felt listened to. Linda advised that I do the 5-day charcoal cleanse and then take the supplements in the 30-day Perfect Balance Kit. I have just finished the course and I have to say it has been life-changing. I can finally live a more normal life, mostly pain-free. The bloating has completely gone and my stools are a lot more normal. The fullness has gone and the back pain has eased so much. Linda was available to speak to every step of the way and able to give advice on what I will need to take in the future to keep symptoms at bay. I can't recommend this company enough and I can't thank Linda enough. Thank you for saving my life, Victoria. That's the end of the testimonial. So let's just unpick this testimonial a little bit. So yes, like many people, Victoria, because she'd presented to her doctor with acid reflux, she was put on lansoprazole. And it worked for her for a while, but then after a year, symptoms began to get much worse. So it looks as though her GP did as much as he or she could with an endoscopy. That's a camera where they put a camera down your throat into your stomach to have a look round. An abdominal ultrasound. She did pay for a private CT scan to take a look at her pancreas. And obviously at some stage they picked up that she had a hiatus hernia. Now a hiatus hernia is where part of the stomach pushes up and through the diaphragm. The diaphragm is a very thin layer of muscle that separates the chest cavity from the abdominal cavity down here. And sometimes the stomach can push up through the diaphragm. When this happens, the sphincter, the tight muscle just above the stomach, loosens, and that can then allow regurgitation of acid and acid-drenched food up into the esophagus, causing acid reflux. The diaphragm, if the stomach sits below the diaphragm, that sphincter stays tight and closed, so there can be no regurgitation. Now, it's interesting because when anyone contacts me and they mention that they have acid reflux and they also have a hiatus hernia, straight away I'm thinking, okay, this person probably also suffers with bloating, abdominal bloating, that's made worse after food. And invariably when I ask them, yes, they do suffer with bloating. So this is what's happening here. You eat, because you've got imbalances in your gut, maybe with the friendly bacteria, maybe you've got some inflammation in there, you suffer with IBS, you get bloated regularly, then you have to remember that bloating is when all 23 feet or so of your intestines are beginning to stretch and expand due to excessive production of gases. When your intestines are expanding, not only do they expand outwards, okay, which we call anteriorly to the front, which gives you that bloated look. But gases and bloated intestines can also push posteriorly to the back, cause back pain, which is one of the symptoms that Victoria mentioned. But bloating can also push in an upwards direction towards your stomach, towards your diaphragm. So pushing your stomach up through the diaphragm and causing acid reflux. So if you can control the bloating, prevent the bloating, especially after meals, then you'll control the hiatus hernia and you will fix the acid reflux. So as with anyone who contacts me with symptoms like this, I always ask them to carry out our 5-day charcoal detox using our activated charcoal capsules. And then after they've completed the 5-day charcoal detox, to take the supplements in our 30-day Perfect Balance kit. And we get fantastic results. If you read the Google reviews and the reviews on the website and on Facebook, you'll see that for yourself. So yes, I just wanted to read that out and just let you know really that even if you've had acid reflux for many years, and maybe you've been told by your GP that there's nothing else they can do, you just have to keep taking the lansoprazole or omeprazole, then there are lots of things you can do, natural things that you can do that are not going to harm your body, unlike these drugs that do have some severe side effects, including blocking the absorption of certain nutrients and increasing your risk of getting gut infections like Clostridium difficile. So anyway, I hope that helps. If you want any information about our supplements, if you want to run things by me or a member of my team, then just reply. If you're watching this video in an email, just reply to the email, or contact us on social media, or email us at feelgood@justfortummies.co.uk. Thank you for listening, and have a good day. Bye bye.